Sleeping. And it should have all my old settings because I never changed that, so we should be good. Welcome to The Dice Are Bad Storytellers. My name is Jacom Clarkson. I'll be your DM today. We are joined by Addie, Lyre, Addison, Sir Emory Warren, Phil Mathis, Johan Hollow, and Errol, Errol, I never know your name, who is playing Qiao. And we are unfortunately not without Daniel Monzingo for today. Potentially he may join us later, but he is getting hitched. So what can you do? Pretty important thing.
Oh, I thought he was like best man stuff.
He's
straight up engaged.
Oh.
Jealous. Jeez, lucky son of a gun.
I forgot dressing for my salad, so I'll be right back.
All right.
Just as important a reason as getting married to be late.
Yeah, gotta have this up.
Wow, those are harder to eat than I thought. So I'll slow down on those. Okay, so last session we kind of left off in this kind of like part of time, but I feel like I kind of rushed it, and I want to give everybody a chance to really, do what they wanted to do in those 2 days before this next earthquake happens, and more levels are bestowed upon people. And so I kind of want to just step back a little bit, do a couple scenes before this earthquake, and then we'll start off right at that earthquake. This is probably going to be second day. This is after you guys have woken up, gone shopping, and then like another 2 days after that. So this will be after that day, next day. It's in the morning, and Sir Emory Warren, you received a sending spell early in the morning, and this is from the Old Wessex.
Emory speaking.
Hello, sir. This is Edward. Edward Brightlines. Are you hearing me?
You're muted.
Oh, yes, Edmund.
Wonderful. So I have several things to report. First off, we have succeeded in ending the coup. People are no longer attempting to destroy the royal family in the sense, and mostly because the Justicar has been deemed unwell. He sent forces after you, and then he tried to spin it off as you all trying to rebel against Old Wessex and killed our people, and you go on basically a tirade, which was clearly easily debunked. And now it's beginning to believe that he is mentally unstable. He is aging into less than lucid. So I wanted to report that the Justicar's age may be fully just over. We will probably be looking for someone to replace his position in the near future.
Capital. If he thought those men were enough to deal with us, he truly is senile.
I would say so. The only thing he had going for him was the carnage described from the battle, which was apparently quite bad. You can tell Edward's is still processing what stuff he wants to talk about. When you left, I heard Johan's. You may not even know who Johan is. Do you remember the boy that was in court before?
Oh, the strange guard. The guard with the many accents. Yes, he's king now.
Oh no.
About that.
I don't think that's true.
He
Or at least he says he's king.
I attempted to kill Johan the last time I saw him. And
I've considered it myself.
It's strange because it's all auditory. You're kind of standing out on this, pier looking out over the ocean, just having this conversation in your head. If I will leave that to your discretion. I believe that killing him may be the better choice in a lot of these cases. And if you were to kill him, I would not question your choice.
I said that mostly as a joke, but perhaps you made me reconsider my ideas of the man.
He was not a good man when I met him, and I doubt years alone would have changed that. he is a liability, and worse than that, I fear a danger to my sister. And had I known he was going with you on your journey, I would not have sent my sister with you.
Oh, absolutely, he's a threat to her.
Then
He's definitely not a healthy human being.
He goes, Edmund says, if it is possible to separate them, then I would suggest to do it. And if not, again, I will leave that to your discretion. You are not my hitman. You are not, it is not appropriate for me to ask you to kill him. But if I could, I would.
I'm not one for rom-com schemes. So if they must be separated, it must be by force. Although, perhaps the cat could separate them in a more comedic manner. I'll speak with her.
You guys kind of go over some other just kind of small affairs of business. He says at one point, I do not know what your funding situation looks, but I want you to understand if there's ever a question of that, you have the full faith and credit of the old Wessex government behind you. And whatever you need will be provided.
Good man.
And you guys kind of talk for a while before finally he ends the conversation. He says, you are my man on the outside, and until we are able to join you on the mainland, you have my utmost permission to do whatever you see right in the name of Old Wessex. Attempt to contact me if you can find a sending spell or someone who can cast the spell further off. But otherwise, I will reach out to you when we have problems. We intend to start our pilgrimage within the next month.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you then. And I might actually, let me see if I can cast sending. 1 second here. I'm looking into if I can cast sending yet. I do have sending. I don't have it prepared. But I'll say, yes, I myself am capable of casting a sending spell for contacting you. Although not as powerful as the one you're casting, because mine only allows me to send 20 words at a time, not entire conversations.
Yeah, I've burned out a couple wizards in this conversation. And then after this this finishes out, let's see. He says his goodbyes. Thank you, Sir Edward. We will be in contact. Let us know once you find a place that is suitable. And you end the conversation. I'm going to say, as you start walking back, you feel your corn purse at your side, much lighter than it was when you first left off. What is Sir Emory thinking about in terms of everything? What's going on in his mind with that conversation, with what situation he's in?
I am probably going to go find Lyre. I'm going to go talk to Lyre.
This is dope. Okay. So you go off, you find Lyre. We'll say you're getting ready for a day of playing in the bar or in the pub, Madame Pomp's pub. And, you're getting ready to play, but you fully don't need to. You make tons of money doing this, but, you're kind of just socializing. You can be as fun or casual or whatever you want to be. You see her getting ready for the day.
You walk into me, I'm doing one swipe of mascara, so I turn around and I'm like wide-eyed.
I return the wide-eyed stare. Lyre! I've never seen you without your makeup. You look great. A moment.
What's up?
You are an agent of chaos, yes?
To a point. I like to think I like to be chaotic for good reasons, though.
I have an excellent reason for you. You've witnessed... I'm going to shut the door. See, try to make sure nobody's listening. And I'll cast the message spell, or message cantrip, rather, and say, no doubt you've noticed how unhealthy the relationship is between King Johan and Queen Karina, yes?
Well, he's not a king, but totally, yeah. It's awful.
king by marriage, yes.
He's a prince.
What is Edward's title, Jacob?
Edward. I guess he would be emperor in fact, or like power of emperor, basically. Like he isn't actually
Standing emperor?
Yeah, standing emperor.
Acting emperor?
Yeah.
Cool.
But under the beneficiary, under the divinity, I guess you could say, or the royalty of his sister.
Are you familiar with Emperor Edward? He's the sister's son who's caring for the kingdom in her absence.
Only passingly, since I'm a poor person outside of this game.
Oh, I'm quite close with standing King Edward, but he has asked me to look into perhaps breaking up Johan and Karina. And myself, while I could probably separate them permanently, there would be some people who would prefer it to be done in a less violent and drastic manner. Many people, probably.
Well, I've already been talking to Karina about creating strong boundaries against being walked all over by her relationship with Johan. Anyways, he's treating her like shit.
Yes. What if something or someone were to come between them?
Like,
kind of a reverse parent trap.
It's not intentionally you saying that you're... Never mind. The coughing was well timed.
The coughing is like very well timed. So, like, who are you trying to suggest comes between them?
I don't know. I leave that up to you. I'm just the idea man.
So you're trying
leave
to
the implementation to you.
That I need to find someone that can not only take care of Karina, but also become king of what's the big overarching
Old Wessex.
Either find
king
someone.
Old Wessex.
If it were as simple as suggesting somebody marry her, I'd suggest myself. But I simply think you are more fitted than I to find some way of breaking them up.
Okay.
Anyway, have fun today. Enjoy the bar. Good talk. Then I'll leave.
Yeah.
All right. Sir Emory, you walk off. Okay. So we've still got about a day and a half until the earthquake happens. Qiao, you had mentioned that you wanted to track down this orc woman, and you were sending the hawk to go find them, and you actually did track her down at one point.
Yes, and I was trying to follow up on that lead.
Okay, so we'll allow you to do this before this happens. We'll say this is later in the day, maybe, like 5 or 6. You've been playing at the bar forever, and Madame Pomp just loves you being there. She holds you to no schedule. Lyre, if you want to come with him. It is a gambling den where this orc walked into. And, you have every reason to believe she'd still be there if you'd like to spend the night going there.
Am I going with, or?
I believe that last session I reluctantly asked Lyre to help me because I am good at magic.
Not good at
and that's it. So I think that I did ask Lyre to help me because this is a Minotaur, so it's not the right character.
Is it though? It's like basically kind of the same deal.
What world are you living in? All right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna head to the gambling den and see if we can track down this woman because I definitely think that it's very important to find her. Both of them.
Yeah. So you guys come into this really grungy den. It's called, I had a very good name for it. It's called the Grease Spot. and it's just this like card playing, gambling. They like play both poker, blackjack, and it's like nothing formal, just really low quality alcohol. You could probably get drugs here. Lyre, these are like kind of your people.
Okay.
And you see a handful of people here, mostly kind of down on the luck looking human pirates with pretty gnarly tattoos and you know, just kind of some of them magically imbued with pirate swears and other things. But yeah, you walk into this area. Does anybody catch your eye? Like what kind of person would you just be looking out for an orc?
I'll describe this person to her, both of them in advance, so that she knows who she's looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so Lyre and who's with you? Oh yeah, Corvus. Yeah. Roll me perception checks, both of you. I guess I'll roll for Corvus.
Yes, our trustworthy friend Corvus.
Trust him with my life. Corvus does not see any orcs. I think you're muted, Addison.
Me? Never mind.
No, me.
I rolled really badly. I rolled a 7.
Okay. Well, I have a passive perception of 18, so let's go find out what my actual perception is. That'll be a 15 on the die.
Okay. Yeah, neither you or Corvus get a pretty good look at the bar and who's all here. You don't see any orc women, and you guys hang out for a couple minutes just to see who's coming and going. You do see, say, you're pretty obviously welcomed over by two women who are both with black hair. They both look Shiguan. They're kind of like Asian looking, and they look like they could be sisters. And they see you walking in, and one of them goes, "Miss, you look very lost. I mean, your friend looks very lost. You look like you're guiding him around. Are you doing any partying? Looking for any friends tonight?"
Yeah, we are looking for some friends. We've been looking for this girl with red hair and a large orc lady as well.
Aren't they all
friend.
large? They laugh to each other.
Well, this one's supposed to be extra large.
Extra large. Well, we haven't seen anything like that, but we are looking for someone to share our spread with. And she holds up a little vial of red powder.
Do I recognize what this is?
I will almost guarantee that it doesn't. You would know it's drugs. You probably would not be able to isolate which one it is. Lyre, this is like pirate blow. This is it's like a magical drug that is used by pirates a lot because it doesn't stay in your system very long. And so the trips are only like 15, 30 minutes, and then you know it's fully out of your system. So you don't have to worry about like, you know.
Good, he does have another suit.
Another suit? Question mark?
I'm sorry, guys. My partner is watching a Pink documentary.
Oh no, I'm watching the new Rebecca movie.
Okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Carry on.
I'm like, another suit?
Another suit. Man needs a suit.
A man needs a suit. But yeah, it's a drug that's just called the devil's plume. And when you snort it, your eyes and ears like burst flame for a bit, and you have like a very sharp high and high perception for like a very short period of time. But it's just kind of like a recreational party drug.
You should take that. It's pretty fun.
I know what drugs are, woman.
Whoa.
And I'm just going to turn to these people and I'm going to say, who around here actually knows everybody that's around here, if I was to ask you?
That's an interesting question. I think the cook knows an awful lot. this woman starts walking to the back door. And it's a door that you haven't seen a lot of people come in and out of, but she pushes open on it and starts to walk in. Alex, I want to interpret your poor perception before. You have basically been developing a sixth sense. Through your meditations, through your blade singing, you can feel the world of magic around you. And recently, I mean, both with the events of what's happening and your own development, it's become sharper and sharper. You could feel Johan reaching out to the void. You could feel things happening from very far away. Let me roll. When this woman opens the door, roll me a perception check. Actually, Arcana. And you can roll this with advantage because it's cool flavor.
Okay, that's really good. 1 second. That's a 22.
Okay. He opens this door, and it goes to a place that does not exist. When you look at it,
Oh, no, go ahead.
when you look at it, it's just a door into like a wooden room with no other like kind of interesting features to it. But magically, when you look into that door, it is a place that does not exist in the magical realm, basically. Like this is not in the sea or the land or the void or the sky.
I'm going to turn to Lyre, and I'm going to say, that room's not there. And I'm going to start walking towards the room.
I'm like, why are we going towards the room if the room's not there to Corvus?
Yeah. She opens this door. She's like, oh, yes, of course. Come right along. Do you walk into the room?
I would like to examine the room from without.
She's walked in, and she's standing in there with you, and you can't see around the door, so it just looks like a kind of a small, like kind of parlor area, basically. She goes, "Are you coming in? My friend is just over here." As you get to the door,
I'm going to say,
I'm
not walking in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up. Can I walk by a table and grab like a drink or a glass of water or something somebody's not paying attention to?
Yeah. Just I'll let you do that for free. Somebody's like, "Hey, my drink," but that's it.
Okay, I'm gonna walk, and before I walk in the door, I'm gonna cast Shape Water with my thing, and I'm gonna direct the water into the room and see what happens before I walk in.
It splashes into the room and it lands on the ground.
No, I'm gonna like try to hold it in the air in the room and see what happens.
Yeah.
Can I do it?
Yeah, it holds up and floats in the room, and you can control it. You can hold up to it. It just seems to be right there.
Okay. All
Well,
right.
Have you fended off your suspicions enough to go into this room that does not exist?
I'm just gonna walk in.
All right, you walk in. It immediately feels magically very claustrophobic. But
I'm also in the room.
Oh yeah, you guys come in. The other woman also comes in. She goes, "That was very strange what you did there. Are you okay?
He's just a weirdo.
Is that a
I
fright
accept.
thing?"
I'm fine. Where's your friend?
What?
I'm fine. Where's your friend?
Oh, well, before you meet them, we just want to make sure that you are not going to hurt us, because we want to have a better understanding of what's happening, and you seem to be looking for one of our friends.
I'll say, but I am one of your friends.
Right.
Kind of shift the collar of my shirt a little bit.
One of these women goes, you are an emissary of the government. You are an emissary of Shigua, I can tell. Do you mean us? Do you mean to take us? We had understood that all of the killings from these, earthquake, from these ragings had been looked over by the government. We would not be imprisoned. They would not be imprisoned if we would be granted leniency.
Do you know something?
Yes, of course I do. She takes off this like disguised self from herself. It's this large orc woman that you saw in the
Cat.
from the hall. He goes, yes. We know what we did on that ship was wrong, and it was just all chaos. It was all madness, and I didn't mean to kill anyone, and then I had killed a lot of people.
I see. And, I'm gonna turn to the other one, and I'm going to say, then that would make you.
Yes, of course. She takes off her disguise, and it is who you recognize as Evelyn.
Evelyn. Hello. I don't believe we've met. And your name? I'm going to turn to the orc.
Oh, Elizabeth. You can call me Bella.
I'm going to say, I will be honest with you, women. I'm out of my element here. I am not, while I am an ambassador, I am not a person of the people. I was just here
the people
to.
laughing in the background.
I'm just trying to find you because I knew that you were on that ship, and I wanted to know if you knew anything. And I didn't come here to arrest you or do anything negative to you. I just came here to speak with you because I knew you were on the ship. I saw you when we entered, or when we embarked, and I think there are many people. We'd put half the country in jail if we locked everyone up, and you were in an enclosed space, so.
Right. This is Evelyn speaking, and I mean to stress, I have a lot of strange feelings about it because I've clearly benefited quite extremely from my moments of rage. I am quite incredibly powerful, but I don't feel that same rage. But I know if I were to kill, I'm not saying I'm going to do this. She points over at you, Lyre. But I sense if I were to kill you, I would become more powerful still. And there is some small temptation for that. The orc lady next to her is like, whoa. You can tell they're still working out their feelings on a lot of this stuff. But clearly we have a lot of magic at our disposal now. And frankly, I'm not very good at magic. Another thing, these women seem a little bit supernaturally beautiful. Like, they're naturally beautiful. They're both noble women. They're both, kind of, but there's an edge of supernaturalness to it. Kind of like witches who have some sort of like spell over themselves or drinking some sort of children's blood mixture, something crazy like that.
Can I roll an insight check? Do I believe her?
Yeah, you can roll an insight check for sure. This is honestly not because she's being deceptive. I just want to see.
No, just in general. I'm just wondering if I believe her. It's an 18.
You are seeing a person in crisis, and so it is very difficult to intuit right off the bat whether she's being facetious or not. But assuming she's not some sort of like monster or psychopath, no, she seems to be telling the truth and really doesn't take any joy from killing anybody.
Uh-oh.
It's happened again. Oh, welcome back.
You're back. Yeah, there you go. You froze after you said psychopath.
Oh, yeah. Assuming that, no, they are kind and they're just trying to figure out these things themselves.
I'm just gonna be like, then just come back to the expedition. We whatever's happening, certainly there's no reason for you to be out here in the middle of this city. I know what you did, but not like everyone else on that boat didn't do the same thing, so.
I did it too.
Yeah.
You've killed other people before? Or other
Oh,
What?
no. My group stopped me. The people I came here with stopped me.
There's a lot more chaos on that ship. They kind of, where are you staying? We will converse amongst each other and decide what we're going to do.
We're staying in blah, blah, blah.
Right. Okay.
But I don't remember.
Says, all right. We had made some plans to join a caravan out to the west, where we all felt each other pulled, but we will decide. And they kind of say this. Sorry about the room. We had to be extra careful.
The room, actually.
Elizabeth is like, I fully don't know magic, so I don't know 100%, but I think it's a secret space. It's like a place that doesn't exist, and if I were to lock you in here, I don't think you could get out. And
I leave immediately, and I say, okay, we'll see you then.
Solid.
She goes, oh, okay. They put on their glamours again. They're these Asian, black-haired women again. Yeah, you guys kind of have this moment of like, both of those people have probably killed 15 people each together. And you don't have any reason from looking at them or from interpreting what they say to like trust them. But yeah, they definitely have drugs. That's probably just Elizabeth's, bag. You kind of just get that energy off of her. Yeah, so you guys kind of meet up with these people. I'm going to say, because you got some really good investigation rolls, Lyre, I'm going to say you find out before the earthquake that they're the ones who like set up the orgy train. They're the ones who were like making that happen.
Also, can I throw in, no better place to break up Johan and Karina than the orgy train.
Corvus.
Are we all going on the orgy train? Was that something that we decided to do last game?
Oh.
You guys got some options here. There's a lot of options here. So I'm gonna say that's all.
I think that's the whole point of the orgy train, right?
What?
A lot of options.
To have a lot of options?
I guess you're not wrong, yeah. There's a scene that Corvus, we'll come back to this if he comes back, but as you guys are walking back to the inn, you see a town crier who is a cultist of Pith who is talking about how clearly she is reinstating her divinity. She is saying that she is giving power to the people and she is raising the seas again and proving to her children that she is powerful, And basically it's just like a zealot.
That man, and I'm going to point at him, in the wizard community, we would call him an idiot.
Corvus goes, yes, I believe you're right.
Don't kill him, please. And
what?
I said, don't kill him, please.
He's very silent, as is normal. Phil, this is the night after you guys go to the hospital, and this is the night after you guys find all these relics and that book and the bag of dust and everything. Karina in her pajamas comes into your room.
I am, if I remember right, I am at the hospital.
Are you sleeping?
Or no, I'm at the hospital the next day. No, you're right. I'm in my room.
You've come back to the place. The door jamb is blown open with your Eldritch Blast, and so there's kind of like a broken part of the door from where you've done that before. Karina comes in. I'm gonna say, even without like rolling insight for it, you can if you want to get more about her, but she seems she's not like hot and bothered. She's not like doing anything like trying to get with you, but she has been thinking about something a lot over the past 2 days. She comes in and she says, Johan, when you, on the boat, when you said you couldn't remember, or you didn't know how to apologize, what did that mean? What did you need to apologize for?
You're gonna have to be more specific. I have a lot to apologize for.
Oh my god.
This is real awkward. She's having trouble with it. She says, so I asked that question about why didn't you come back sooner? Why didn't you come back and find me sooner after you recovered from the wedding and you know, you knew you were alive and everything. And you said, I didn't know how to apologize. I just wanted to know more of what that meant.
I got you killed.
She's kind of in like you know, not like lacy underwear, but just kind of like pajamas, you know, like kind of like retro pajamas.
Yeah.
Huh?
A nightgown?
Nightgown, yeah, sure. I know nothing of anything. She, but she kind of says, honey, and it's really strange for her to say that. It feels weird to call you that, but honey, you were deceived by a god. That's not a standard most people feel culpable to. The greatest, I mean, that's not something you should feel the need to apologize for.
All of the actions that I made were my own. Every single thing I did because I wanted to. I told a guard to take the prince out on a ship and then prayed to Pith to destroy that ship so that I could be with you and he would never get in the way. There's so many things I cannot apologize for. I could have destabilized the entire world easily. And part of me thinks that I should have. So no, I don't know how to apologize. Because part of me doesn't want to.
She just kind of shakes her head and goes, I didn't know that about the Emperor's son. That's how you got rid of him?
He didn't die. At least not like that. But you have to think, if we'd been married and eventually he would have been found, and I mean, it would have been known that I was not the prince, and
but Johan,
what would we do then? There'd be nothing. You wouldn't have the title that you're married to the Emperor's son. It would just be him, and it would just be you and us, and then there's nothing. Like, I know that us is enough, but that threatens me and you. Mostly me. So it was better if they just didn't know. Ever. But Pith, being the queen bitch that she is, didn't do it. Which I'm glad she didn't.
This is clearly more complicated than I gave it credit. At a certain point, the trauma doesn't matter, Johan. At a certain point, it doesn't matter what you did or how you did it or what happens now. It matters what you do now. And if I were to hold you accountable for everything you did while confused and being misled by a goddess, I would be a hypocrite. Because a king is just a man. And you recognize that phrase, a king is just a man. You recognize this from your hoity-toity classical education. This is something that was like a quote from Errol, like the first king. It was like, and he would write poems, as we've just found out, it may have been a she, write poems about divinity and about Errol and about magic. And one of her most famous ones is, "A king is but a man."
And just sort of. But a king has more power than a man. And a queen has more power than that too. Something I'm sure you know more about than anyone.
Right. Clearly this is more than we can figure out in a night. I wanted to know what you meant, and I do know a little bit better, so thank you. And she kind of awkwardly starts going toward the door.
I'm going to say, no, please, stay.
She's fully like, no, maybe another time. Maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow and see how we're feeling. Not tonight. I thank you, though. And she opens the door and leaves. Anything you'd like to do?
No.
No? Okay. Just for the fun of it, Lyre, we'll say that you're outside, kind of waiting for this, just kind of in the inn. You see Karina walk out of the thing, and I'll just give this, roll me an intuition on Karina. Roll me just an insight on Karina real quick.
Insight. That'll be a 15.
She is fully like she has had a very draining encounter with Johan and is like, she's kind of been deferring in the sense of like, oh, it's so good to see him again. He's so, mysterious and interesting. Whatever encounter she just had was more like, what an edgelord. Like, she was not as impressed as Johan probably thinks he was.
No, Johan doesn't think she was impressed. Johan thinks she's terrified, because Johan's fucking terrified.
Do you need a drink, girl?
Yeah, I really need a drink. Yeah.
We don't have to talk about anything, but you need a drink?
Yeah, let's do it. Atria comes by, and you guys kind of have a drinking night. This is the night before the earthquake the next day. Again,
Add some context to how we wake up.
roll me
Drunk.
a Constitution check, actually, because I rolled for this at the start of the campaign, and it's on the rails.
Okay.
Jacob?
Yeah.
Disguised as someone else.
Okay, one sec. We'll get there in a second. What'd you get?
That will be an 18 Constitution.
Very good. What'd you get, Phil?
I didn't roll for anything. I was just going to say, disguised as someone else, Johan is going to leave the inn and is going to try and find someone to relieve some stress with.
Gross, but okay. Yeah.
Is that murder or sex?
Sex.
I'm like, with Johan, you never know.
Neither.
I legitimately thought you were going to go kill somebody before.
We're not that far down the spiral yet. Give it a maybe.
It's not supposed to be a spiral. Okay.
So neither Atria or Karina notice you as you're leaving. They got both super low perceptions while drunk. Roll me at disadvantage perception check, Lyre.
Okay. Disadvantage. Perception.
You're going to have to beat a 27.
Okay, so it's a 26 for the first roll and a 12 for the second.
Nice.
You have the 10 thing. Can you not roll below a 10?
I rolled a 26 and then
No. I was talking to Phil.
Oh, no. I just have
He has like plus 15.
reliable talent or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's
for,
the 10 thing.
Well, no, it's not reliable talent. It's just like
Expertise.
expertise
Okay,
and
gotcha,
persuasion. Expertise and persuasion and stealth.
Gotcha.
So, the two things that make me a literal nightmare.
You almost see him as he's leaving. Like he tosses, he accidentally makes a noise as he's walking out, but you don't register that he's left. With that 18 concentration though, you remember Atria and Karina kind of like crossing the line of just friendly drinking at a certain point. Like they start like leaning on each other a whole lot, and like you don't know if anything went down, but they did not go to separate rooms after you were done drinking. And you had a kind of constitution that you could remember that happened.
That's going to be an interesting one.
Would
I'd
you
like
stop
to.
them? Would you be like, what would you do here?
No, I want to wake up early enough to see what happens on them coming out of the rooms.
Okay. So we'll get to that in the morning. Phil, where are you looking for a release?
Why'd you say it like that? Like,
I don't know.
the release part of it is just.
I feel like that's how Johan would have said that.
It is. He is
Very
just,
accurate.
Like, I'm just so uncomfortable now.
Oh, yeah, no. Johan's the worst. Anyway, he is actually going to probably go to the hospital.
Yeah, I figured. With your investigation before, you knew that this is kind of like a Grey's Anatomy situation, but it's not a hospital. It's like a cleric place, where people can get healing, but it's pirates. So there's a lot of sleeping around there. You go there. What kind of investigation do you do? What kind of? You just kind of go in and see who's game.
No. I go to one specific person.
The
girl that I met, that I had talked to previously.
All right. She actually does have a name. Slicine, I believe, was her name. Yeah, you managed to find her hospital room. She, actually, let me see. Ooh, I was going to roll a luck check to see if she's actually still there. As you come there, she is starting to pack up because they're letting her go back home or, continue her life just kind of because they don't know what to do about her becoming a warlock suddenly.
Disguised as the doctor that I was talking to her as before, I'm just going to say, so you're leaving then?
And this was another doctor who had already worked at the place, right?
Yeah.
She says, well, yes, of course I'm leaving. You gave me a bill of good health.
I did give you a bill of good health. For many reasons. I hate this so much.
She grabs both of your collars and pulls you in for a kiss. He's like, we already did this like twice yesterday, but if you want to keep going, that's fine.
Yes.
you guys bone. She thinks that you're this other person, and it's real messed up. It's really not okay. Like,
I really hate this.
I'm so uncomfortable right now.
taking
So am
an
I.
relationship with a person who believes you're a primary care professional, disguised as that primary care professional who should already not be doing this thing.
Johan's the worst. I hate him. Sorry.
Roll me a performance check.
Jesus Christ.
It's wild that you went into this doing, because that was already something that was like happening in world. So this is like the perfect worst plan. What'd you get? What'd you get?
Trend continues.
Good?
Johan is apparently an amazing lover with a natural 20.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Nothing I can do to it. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I feel like to say anything more would be to ruin the absolute ridiculousness of this event. It goes great. Everything is smooth. Let me think. Where do I go from there?
Oh no.
Leave in the morning.
What'd you say?
I know what I said, and it was a bad accidental. Do you just leave in the morning, or do you leave before she wakes up?
I leave before she wakes up.
All right, cool.
And I go back to my room.
Sounds good. The girls are no longer drinking at this late, but yeah, you can go back to your room.
You said they're not drinking anymore?
Uh-uh.
Okay. I'm going to...
But the nat 20, this is like 5 in the morning.
Okay. I'm going to sneak past Karina's room and sort of take a peek into the door.
Okay.
Are you having to sort of flip a coin on whose room they went back to?
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, I'll actually, that's something I didn't roll on. Yeah, she's not in her room. I just picture this pregnant pause as Johan's looking at the bed like little tiny, like almost no activity.
The math lady meme.
The math
The math.
lady.
The math equation.
What is lighting this room?
I mean, it's middle of the night. Probably nothing. Probably just like the light coming from your doorway.
What would normally light this room?
Like a candle.
Cool.
What'd you get?
What are you doing?
I hate Johan so much. Johan is going to take the candle and light it. And is going to set the bed on fire.
Why?
Because he's mad.
I have to sleep here.
You
All
saw
right.
us drinking.
The bed is on fire. What would you like to do now?
I leave and I go back to my room.
For how long?
What the heck? Okay, I've got a lot of decisions to make as a DM here. Fire starts going. I want everybody but I guess Johan to start rolling me perception checks at disadvantage. Let me know when you get above we'll say like above a 13. This is going to be pretty obvious pretty fast.
Would it be passive because we're sleeping?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess we'll just make it passive if you want it to be. You have a really high passive, but...
I rolled an 18. for my first one with disadvantage.
You guys all start smelling smoke, and it wakes you up out of dreams. It's you start seeing the
I
flickering.
rolled a 3 total.
Johan's
Very
gonna
solid.
start. Johan's gonna start running through the halls, yelling, "Fire! Fire!"
Okay. You see Karina stumble out like, fire, fire, in my room. Mages, we need water. She starts running around yelling. You see Atria start following closely behind her and goes, shit. And goes over to like the room.
How much fire is there already?
It's blowing out of the doorway. It's a inferno pretty quick. What are you doing, Phil?
Just asking, since I saw Karina and Atria following quickly behind her, what state of dress are either of them in?
About the same as you saw Karina in, just pajamas.
Okay.
I'm
Still, I saw them leave the same room together.
Yeah.
That's what I needed. That's what I did this for.
Super.
It was a sleepover, you weirdo.
What?
It was just a sleepover.
I'm going to cast Watery Sphere and immediately end it, which will extinguish all flames within 30 feet of it.
Awesome. These flames are starting to pour out. Alex, in like his probably pretty noble pajamas, runs down the hall with a water spear. Just water douses the entire inside of the room. Mr. Swamp comes down and goes, oh, not my sweet inn. Oh, who's done this? Who's lit my sweet inn on fire? And she's like very unhappy.
I'll cast Control Water and huck all the extra water out the window, and then I'm going to raise my finger and I'm going to say, whatever we're doing it more than 8 hours from now. And I'm going to go back to sleep.
I'm going to wind wall the room and dry it out completely.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, lass. Oh, goodness. Yeah, okay. Thank you. We will investigate this in the morning. Please, everyone get back to sleep. There's like a small crowd of pirates and everything up there. Sir Emory, you have fully slept through this entire thing. Just fully out. Yeah. I get to make some very interesting choices as DM tomorrow.
Phil, like, how did Johan come to the decision of lighting the bed on fire? Like,
He's a stupid kid, and he wanted to figure out where she was, but he didn't want to look through every room. So obviously, the best way to do that was to start a fire.
Or you could just start yelling, fire, fire, fire.
That's true, but when there's not a fire, then
you'd be a
what
liar.
does he do? Yeah. So, gotta cover your tracks, you know?
Oh, never mind. No fire. I guess I just smelled flames. 23 deception.
That's true, but the best lie is no lie at all. So,
I hate to turn back time a little bit.
Yeah.
Would I have been able to go out? I want to try my hand one more time at getting a magical item out on the town.
Yeah, what do you
I'm looking for either a ring or a cloak of protection.
We'll roll luck on both.
by the way, Jacom, did you ever add that sash thing to my...
No, I need to actually build that for you. But it gives you advantage on dexterity spell saves.
Okay.
It's really just that simple. So I'll write an item for it.
I would like to specify before the night's over that I use my Arcane Recovery to get my 4th level spell slot back.
Awesome.
In case we don't get the full 8 hours right now.
You can for sure do this. As you're kind of resting and Corvus is sitting with you in your room, he goes, so the princess, the queen's bed lit a flame while she was not in it. Was that an attempt on the queen's life that we failed to detect?
That who failed to detect?
We. I understand we have taken on the responsibility of guarding her.
Is that what we're doing?
You know,
I don't know. I'm going to say, look, I don't know. You were there. What I saw was we were there in an official capacity, and then they sent foreign agents on a quest for their own government. That's what I saw. Now, I'm just an experienced diplomat, but I might not have done that, but who knows how organized we are.
Old Wessex does seem like a mess. I will admit that, but my own... He kind of looks to you as the Triton monks aren't as put together as you'd imagine either.
Well, coming from the person who is probably the most put together that you'll ever meet, I will say that, I mean that in a literal sense, I'm a mess. But I think that probably they are doomed. But I'm going to help them. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah, we'll say you managed to find this cloak of protection, and it was right on the line. So we'll say they give you a deal on this. They're only going to charge you about 500 gold for it, and it is actually free from all profanities. You got lucky. This was not pirate endowed. This was an actual artificer.
Perfect. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and remove 50 platinum. Ka-ching. And okay, that's perfect.
All right. Yeah, the morning comes. Lyre, you remember the night before, you remember they went into bed together. They come out, and they seem pretty chill. I mean, whatever they did, they might not even remember it. And there doesn't seem to be any like awkward stuff. But for all you know, it was just like a sleepover.
Yeah, probably just commiserated on the men in their lives.
Yeah.
Y'all want to go get breakfast?
Oh yeah, for sure. Adria's like, yeah, I'll do that. And they come with you. This is maybe about 9 a.m. Just because we've kind of already done this, you know, you guys probably have about 3 hours until this earthquake that's coming, and these levels are bestowed on you.
How interesting.
Needle being thinking it. That's a form of bullying. No, form of gaslighting, I guess. But yeah, Phil, when you wake up,
you're comparatively uptight.
So when you wake up, I want you to just roll me a either investigation or perception, whichever one you want to do.
Okay.
Go perception. That should be the same.
Phil.
It'll be an 18.
If it doesn't look like they've slept together, or, I mean, they both have hangovers. We'll say that.
Okay.
Since I'm up and dressed, can I take a look at the room there?
I'm still going to be very upset. And I'm just I'm going to intentionally sit away from Karina.
Okay.
I want to determine if this spell was caused magically or whether this spell was caused through mundane means. Oh, yes, this fire was caused mundanely.
No, only investigation on this.
Certainly. Ooh, natural 19 for a 27.
Ooh, wow. I'm going to say you're an extremely smart man. Not only do you know that it was this candle, you like do the math on where like the burn line started and everything. You know how tall the person was who threw it, like that no one was in the bed at the time when it was thrown. Like you get a lot of information just from like burn patterns and everything. And I mean, Johan fits the profile. I mean, it's not like a guaranteed thing, but for all you know, like it's the right height, it's the right kind of everything, right timing for when he came back in. I mean, you wouldn't know when he came back in though, but he's not off the list. Like Lyre would be too short, Qiao would be too tall, Corvus would be too tall. So but it could be anybody. It could be just some ruffian off the street.
Mm-hmm. Someone who just happens to be the same height. I'm going to go down while everybody's eating breakfast and say, well, I have some good news.
Yes.
No one was trying to kill the queen by lighting her bed on fire with some kind of a distance spell, and I thought perhaps they could think that she was in the bed and light it on fire from a distance, but that's not the case. Somebody dropped a lit candle into the bed. They knew she wasn't there. They didn't intend to kill her. They just wanted to send a message.
That's a weird message. She's going to have to sleep in one of our rooms all the time now.
There's only one way about it.
Karina looks at you and goes, what? Like she thinks like you may have just like propositioned her or something.
Let me explain. Because your bed is now no longer usable, Lyre suggested that you bed down with somebody else here nightly so that you do not have to sleep in a burnt bed.
Oh, well, I spent the night with Atria, and it was lovely. We talked all night, and I don't remember much of it, but yeah.
Wise choice.
Apparently, I sleep with Corvus, so.
You guys cuddle up.
I think he's asleep, and I try to put the mask up, and he's just like.
What probably happens in your room is you sleep on the bed and Corvus sleeps on the floor somewhere, or on like a mat or something, because he's protecting you.
Just in the closet.
Make it weird.
I'm gonna say she could stay with me. We are married after all.
Only if she wants to.
Really awkward energy there. Karina goes, well, that was my intention last night, but after we talked it over, I thought we had agreed it wasn't in our best interest yesterday.
Well,
You're
right.
the one that decided that. Nobody
Also,
decided anything.
there's a good chance that
one moment.
Talk about this right now?
Hey guys, let's like leave this to a later meal than breakfast. I like starting my day off great.
Also, there's a decent chance that Johan was the one who lit the bed on fire. The man was about Johan's height.
I spit out my drink. The fuck did you say?
As he spits out his drink, I cast Control Water, and I throw it out the door.
So conscientious. She goes, is that true, Johan?
No! I was actually not here last night.
Insight?
Well, where were you last night then?
I was out walking around. I was very frustrated with the conversation that I had with Karina. It did not go the way that I had hoped, and I needed to think.
I would have said really.
You know I had to get up to put out that fire. Not that you did it. But I did. One moment, and I'm going to leave and go get an ale. A morning ale.
Morning ale.
Get me one too.
I get 2 morning ales.
She goes, Miss Madam Pump's like, oh, I don't usually open up the tap this early, but all right. Fills it up.
And 1 for the barn.
2 morning ales and 1 for the bard.
You guys start day drinking at like 9 a.m. Is there anything you guys would like to do? Johan, would you go back to the hospital? Because Atria is also like, so I've got a splitting headache, but the ship should be ready to go. The ship should be tip-top, ship-shape, ready to fly off. So.
Yeah, I'd go back to the hospital.
Okay.
How about we set
That's where I
sail
was.
on the next tide out? Oh wait, we fly.
I was just gonna
Um,
Hey,
Never
so you
mind.
go to the hospital. Karina stops for a moment and sees you guys walking in different directions. Atria's kind of leading everyone else back to the ship. And she looks after Johan for a bit and then stops herself and turns back and goes to the ship. We'll say that this is kind of like, it's a longer trip. It's like an hour walk or an hour travel to the hospital and to the ship. You guys are starting to like get ready to take off and waiting for Johan. And Karina starts to cry. She looks extremely upset. And is just kind of staying to herself, sitting in on the deck, kind of in a corner. Atria comes over and like tries to comfort her a little bit, but it's just kind of this awkward, silent moment. Anything people want to do in these scenes?
I'll pull out my water skin that's full of liquor and hand it to her.
You guys I know you guys like to do the morning drinking. It's a little bit much for me, but.
Well, girl, you're the one crying at 10 a.m., so take a drink.
You're right. She takes a quick swig, and it's too strong for her, and she doesn't really enjoy it, but she pops it back on and hands it back to you. Can we leave without Johan? Is that an option?
On your command. Atreya, take us up.
Atria goes,
Is he the only one that's not here?
yeah, Corvus would have come with you, Qiao.
Awkward.
Atria goes, you're the captain. I mean, Karina, are you sure he said it, I have to do it. Karina kind of like stops for a bit and is like, yes, I feel better already just talking about it. Yeah, I think I want us to take off.
Onward.
And like, if someone was standing like a foot away from Qiao, they would hear him mutter to himself, but is he the king? But I don't say anything, and I just assume that leaving him behind makes him less the king.
All right. So about this time, right as you guys are picking off, the earthquake goes off. And we're going to see all these different events as they happen. Phil, you are in the hospital. What would you be doing in the hospital?
No.
Shit.
Oh, no.
I was trying to figure out where all the other remaining warlocks were
Oh no, I didn't even try and set this up, guys. This could be extremely bad.
just trying to figure out where they all were so that, I mean, since one of them's going home, I want to know where the rest of them are so I can keep them all in one place. Keep them all accounted for. And also try and interview more to see, like, who they'd slept with that gave them this power, to see if it was me or if it was my father.
Okay. So you kind of walk back, you're interviewing people, talking to people. You see the woman that you slept with last night who is being extremely flirtatious with this what is it? This scientist isn't the right word. This doctor who who she thought that last night totally blew her mind, and is just kind of like, whoa, you really like me more than I thought you did. I thought we were just kind of casual, and she's kind of into him more. You find that a lot of these people aren't really, it was kind of a freak accident that you talked to the one person who was created by your indiscretion. Most of these people, there are a couple people who were born into the Greenwater family, and a lot of other people who have slept into it. But and then about to address this as well, she didn't show up. this late woman, Evelyn, didn't show up at the inn the night before. She just kind of blew you guys off. So this earthquake goes off. I'm going to go down the list of what happens here. Emory, I want you to have Atria's character sheet pulled up. First
Absolutely.
thing, you see this earthquake start to happen. Some, buildings start to get damaged on the thing. Atria screams in rage, and she's going to attempt to attack who she was closest to,
Oh,
which
shit.
is, Karina.
Oh, they did sleep together last night.
Okay, let me 1 second. I will get that for us. Good, thank God, she is built for supporting people and not for killing people. So let's take a look and see what she does. How high are we in the air?
We'll say you guys were like mid taking off. So like she was at the helm, and you guys had gotten stable, floating in the air, and then she went over to talk to Karina a little bit more, and then she freaked out at her while they were alone.
Sorry, I was not expecting this. 1 second.
No worries. Technically, she has another level of a warlock right now.
Of warlock? Okay.
But you have to add
Deal with that later. Yeah. She will, in that case, she is going to cast Flame Blade on herself.
Mm-hmm.
So a big red fiery scimitar appears in her hand, and she is going to try to cut you down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. $18 to hit.
That hits.
Rolled low. 8 points of damage.
Okay. At least you rolled low. Yeah, she walks up, flame erupts from her scimitar or her rapier, and she gashes into Karina. And Karina feels the power flowing to her at the same time, and she goes, "Oh no," as she's getting stabbed, and realizes what's happening here. We'll pause there for a moment. Johan, you were kind of like walking about. Were you disguised as this doctor?
No, I would say that I was more or less sort of walking around as myself, because I know that nobody knows who I am here.
You see this doctor kind of being flirty with this girl who's checked out and is kind of on her way, all of her things. He lunges across a desk and tries and grabs at her throat to try and choke her.
I would run over and try and stop him.
Okay. He got a 19 to hit, but he's just doing physical damage, so he just like tries to basically maul her to death with his bare hands. So he only does about let me see. He only does like 3 damage, so he just barely starts hurting this person. Slicine. And you can roll athletics. We'll do opposed athletics to see if you can tear him off of her.
No. I want to clarify. When I said that I would try and stop him, I did not mean tear him off of her. I meant cut his hands off.
Okay. This is just a dude, so you can probably do that. He's just a healer.
Fuck me, natural 20. With
Not
sneak
anymore.
Attack. With sneak attack, mind
Not
you.
a healer anymore.
He was just a healer.
Sword made from the throne of pith materializes in your hand, slices down, and this sword is not a smooth, sharp instrument. It's a gnarled, barnacle-covered, terrifying thing. And so it's not like a knife cut. This is like a gross, rusty axe slicing this hands off and fully separated. He screams out in pain. Roll damage.
Okay. 20.
20. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm being fair on this. This man falls to the ground and starts bleeding out. He's not dead, but he's rolling death saves.
I use my second attack and stab him again.
Okay. We'll give him a death save on his turn. Okay. You stab him again. You auto crit, right?
Yeah. So it's automatically 2 fails for him.
He's still coughing and trying to breathe. He's not fully dead yet. Celestine is like, holy, and you hear chaos erupting in the hospital nearby. And Celestine is kind of the shorter woman. She's very young, but very dexterous, kind of lithe. And she is very like, very scared by what's happening here. This man, I'm going to give him another death save. He's still coughing up blood. He's still struggling for life, even though your sword's in his chest.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to look at the girl and I'm just going to say, go! Get out of here!
She panics, runs straight away from you and toward a doorway. We'll resolve this after you decide what you're going to do here.
I'd finish off the doctor.
You fear some bones snap and crunch. You gain 1 level in Warlock. And let me know if that's over 10, because the rules change once you get over level 10 in Warlock.
No, it's not over 10.
Okay. This lady starts running through a doorway. She panics, puts both of her hands on the doorway. The doorway turns black. She falls forward into it and disappears.
Uh-oh.
Alex, from very far away, you feel someone set foot in the temple. You feel this magical perception that you've had, that you've been slowly developing. You feel someone step foot into the void. Not a god, not a creature, not some magical force, just a person.
I say, oh, that's bad. And then as soon as I say that, I assume out on the ship.
Yes, exactly. All these things are happening at the exact same chronology. And we're probably still...
Okay. The very first thing that I do is I assume Lyre's nearby me.
Mm-hmm.
Does she seem like she's going berserk?
No. No, she does not.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say, are you going berserk?
Not that I know of.
Okay, and I'm going to turn Karina and they still going at it?
To be specific, what's Atria's wisdom saving score?
Atreya has a +2 to wisdom saves.
Yeah, she's still frothing at the mouth, like right off screen of you guys doing this. She's going, just like screaming and flailing and yelling at her.
Okay. By the way, did I get a full 8-hour rest?
Yes, you did.
I did, right? Okay, then I will once again cast Watery Sphere, and I will take the Watery Sphere, and I will go right there, and I will fire it 30 feet, and it's going to hit Karina because I think she's the more dangerous of the two, and it's going to, she needs to make a strength save.
Okay, yeah. Karina does?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to attempt to hit, I'm going to hit both of them.
Okay. So Karina got a strength save of 18, and she got an 18 on the die. So, what is it? Atria got an 18 on the die. They both rolled really
Hey,
well.
I rolled for her too, coincidentally. Same 18. It was meant to be.
Wow. The dice wanted to be so.
So they both got an 18?
Yeah, or Atria got more, I think.
No,
okay.
Atreya has a -1 to strength saves.
Oh, so 17.
Yep.
She still beats it by 1 or 2. Okay, I do not engulf either of them. They're just kind of there, and I'm like,
Now they're wet.
Yes, but now I've made it even more of a classic, like, violent cat fight.
Oh no!
No.
That t-shirt contest.
Wet doublet contest. Okay. I think Karina's gonna just try and snap her out of it and give her another save against this rage with advantage.
Oh, okay. Cool. Can I take that? I didn't realize that one of them was not crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did not.
No, that's fine.
I
Karina's
understand
not
that. If that was the case, that is. I mean, can I take that back? Because I would not have done that. I didn't.
You dial stuff.
I'm sorry. I thought they were both going at each other.
Oh, okay. Well, that's an honest confusion at the time. That totally fits.
I suppose that's true. I guess I would have done that anyway. Okay, so yeah.
Atria finally, after this water splashes her and Karina's holding her face and like really looking her straight in the eyes, is like, she manages to break out of it much faster than anyone else you've seen so far. She got a very good roll, and she's just here. We'll say Atria's a cool sailor person, and so she's got like her midriff exposed. You see this telltale, well, her skin is black, so it just kind of looks like a black tattoo splotch on her stomach.
Atreya, you seem to have a black tattoo splotch on your stomach.
Yep, I do. I didn't do anything, I think. She looks at Karina, and she goes, just kind of puts her hands up in the air.
Well, unless you did something the night prior, whatever you did was enough.
I'm not a sleeper around her. I don't think I would. Sorry. She's really embarrassed.
Okay.
I'm going to, as soon as it's clear that no one's killing each other, I'm going to forget about watery sphere, and I'm going to attempt to sink into my like magic sense, and I'm going to try and see if I can see anything while this is actively going on. Because I was busy last time.
For sure. Roll me Arcana checks. Roll me one with like advantage.
Okay, advantage is good because we will not speak of that roll. 23.
Ooh, okay. So one of the features of this world is it's not spatially consistent. You know, like it's a magical interpretation of these realms that are both the real world as well as like a magical secondary world. It's just kind of like these magic pools of energy. And so even though you have these dreams of them, even though you go into this place where you can perceive them, they're not air quotes real. You know, they're kind of like the closest you've ever been to it is when you were welcomed what you think was into that realm when you're at Pith's Castle, when you're at Pith's, so many years ago. This is like all that mysticism is stripped away, and there's just a woman standing and scared in the dark in the depths. And it's like an alien in a theoretical space. It's like none of her existence should make sense in this place.
So it's a woman?
Uh-huh. I'm going to say with the 23, you can tell that whatever being is in here is a woman.
So the being that went into the temple was a woman.
Yes. And temple that's what I'm saying to describe kind of the weirdness.
Right. The place that I previously was, you mean?
Yeah, the place that you're perceiving right now that kind of held this air of sacredness, this air of like meaning, and there's just like a person there.
Can I communicate with them?
I mean, with a 23 Arcana, I'm going to say no. You're extremely lucky to have this very unique ability where you can even see or recognize these places in these trances. Like the magical nuance of doing that alone is pretty wild. It would require some pretty serious divinatory magic to like get in there. But you could try. I would let you roll like a spell like to try and message her or to try and do something like that.
I don't have any communication spells, so I don't think that I could do that. And I think I would know better than to attempt to just wing it. So I'm going to just take that information and not burn my mind.
Gotcha. Phil, you see in the hospital, more and more people are freaking out and angry. It looks like, frankly, there's a lot of sleeping around here. It's a pirate town, and people are trusting each other with their health, and, you know, people are pretty open about that stuff.
One quick second. Alex, what is the name of the feat that gives you the extra health equal to your level?
Toughness.
It's 2
tough,
plus
yeah.
your level.
Got
Or
it.
it's 2 times your level.
Got it. So it is. We're going with that. All right. What were you saying? Actually, we're not going to go with that.
The hospital, the sick bay is in chaos, absolute abject chaos. People, like the people who were already warlocks are not affected by this rage, but all the people who have been endowed with warlock powers at this point have this rage and are attacking anyone else they see who has warlock powers.
Gotcha.
There was some stuff to see how many there are. Wow, I got a nat 1 on that. There is one person in the board who is just absolutely losing it. And
Okay.
there are 2 other doctors and other people around them.
That guy that's absolutely losing it. Let's see. First of all, I'm going to clutch my head a little bit and be kind of confused and blink and use my Eldritch Sight for the first time without really knowing what it is, which should show me who all has, or it's detect magic. So I mean, if
you can very
there's
quickly
anybody
see
around,
all these people around you who have become warlocks.
yeah. So that one guy that's losing it, like when you say losing it, you just mean like attacking everyone?
He's attacking everybody. Eldritch Blast, every round he gets them. He's already hurt a couple people pretty badly.
Got it. Well, I'm going to run over and attack him, try and knock him to the ground.
Okay, roll to hit.
Not a natural 20 this time, amazingly. Let's see. It is going to be 21 to hit, though.
Oh, yeah. Bowl him to the ground. We'll say he's like standing hot, just... and you just jump up, grab him around the waist, bring him to the ground.
Cool. I'll count that as an unarmed strike, and I'll do 2 damage to him as well.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
And everybody are there people around him still that are attacking him?
Yeah,
that
there's
he's
more
attacking,
chaos
rather?
outside, but it looks like a lot of the people who did become warlocks weren't in the building at the time. So a lot of people are like out in the grounds and stuff.
Got it. Well, anybody that's there, I'm going to tell them that's being attacked, I'm going to tell them to run and to just go.
They get a nat 20. They look at each other for a moment. All these are people with warlocks. Roll me a persuasion, but they're getting a nat 20 perception here. So they'll
27.
See. Okay, they did get a nat 20, and I do want to honor that. But they start to leave, and you see a lot of them have the same dreams you have and have seen the same things you have in terms of other people killing them. And you see they start to leave, and then they turn and look at the man and you at each other. And there's this awkward moment of everyone realizing we're power for one another. And you see these people start to think about throwing attacks.
At that moment, I will snap my fingers and cast Sickening Radiance.
Okay.
How many people are around me?
There are 3, excluding the person on the ground.
Sickening Radiance actually might not be the spell that I cast. I'm actually going to cast Shadow of Moil instead, because I think to myself, oh fuck, and just so I am covered in shadow, and all light is turned to dim light within 10 feet of me, and anything that hits me with an attack takes 2d8 necrotic damage.
All right. So nobody takes damage until they try to hit you?
Right.
Okay, there's a 21 to hit, and there's a 15 to hit.
On the 21, I'd like to impose disadvantage using my new ability called Entropic Ward.
Right. He only gets a 9.
Okay, so I will have advantage on him next, or whenever, if I attack him next, which I will.
The guy on the ground is going to use his turn to get him off of you. He gets a nat 20. He tears you off of him and throws you to the side on the ground along with him. So you're both prone.
Does that count as an attack?
No, that was just a strength. He was just getting out of your grapple.
Cool. Okay.
And I'll say it's your turn now.
Okay, cool. I attack the guy that Nobody hit me that time, no. I attack the guy that I warded against. So I have advantage on that attack, which is good. Yeah, it's very good. That'll be 29 to hit.
That for sure hits.
Okay. All right. It's a sneak attack too.
So this has happened so quickly. I forgot about this that has been planned since the day one. When you kill the scientist, or when you kill the person, you get to choose whether you take the levels because you have the sword. So,
what do you mean?
So after you kill that hospital person, because you have this sword, you have more dominion over the void, over the abyss. So if you choose to just end their power and not absorb it yourself, you can do that. And I'm going to say you feel that magically as you kill him, but that will be an intentional thing for you to decide. Or we'll say,
so like I don't have to kill them, I can just end the power?
You have to kill them, but you don't have to absorb the power, basically. So if you kill someone with the sword, you don't have to absorb their power. We're going to say you had to on that first one because you felt it, and we don't want to retcon on that. But going forward, you get to choose. Okay.
So 21 damage to that guy?
And this is the guy who almost hit you?
Yeah.
You slice him in half, long ways, like a belt.
Cool.
And you have access to 2 more levels. But we'll figure that out after combat.
Yep. And then I will use my second attack to attack the other guy that rolled a 15 on me earlier.
Okay, roll the hit.
Oh, man. That's only a 17 to hit.
Dude, these are just people. That'll hit.
Okay. Wow. 12 damage to him.
I guess he falls down, but he's not bled. He's bleeding out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Death saving. He's all right. The guy enraged is going to try and attack you. He got a 17 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, he's just trying to punch you with his fists because he's enraged and kind of dumb. Well, actually, we'll call this an Eldritch Blast because that holds because he's been holding on to that because he's been doing that throughout. He does 3 damage. Hits you with a necrotic blast. The other 2 guys.
He takes 10 necrotic damage.
He goes unconscious on the ground.
Okay.
The last guy who was fighting you sees what's happening, is right of mind, and realizes he's way outclassed, and he's going to run away.
Mm. Cool. I let him go.
Okay.
And I also am going to just leave these 2 people here as well. And I'm going to start running to try and make my way back towards the ship.
Okay, so the first guy stabilizes. Second guy also stabilizes and actually wakes up. He got a nat 20 on his death save, so no further levels on that. But we'll say, just for drama's sake, you can see the ship rising up out of the piers from far away. And they do not look like they're slowing down.
Okay. How high up are they from me?
Let's say it's like 150 feet.
Cool. I'm going to say to myself, I wish I could be up there. And then a portal opens next to me, and I cast Dimension Door onto the ship.
All right.
How far away is the ship?
We'll say,
I mean, once I'm under it.
yeah, we'll say this is a pretty smooth operation, and they're probably going fast. You know, like probably the ship can cruise at 100 miles per hour. So let's call this like what kind of check is this? An Arcana check? Just a charisma-based casting check to get this right and not land weird on the ship? What, like, I feel strange making this call. We'll call it, we'll just call it like a raw intellect check on how to do this.
Natural 1.
Hey, but I'm going to use this to illustrate another cool point. I'm going to say you dimension door up, you misjudge a lot of things in the distance, and you just smack off the side of the ship as you like appear nearby it. And so you get hit by a 100-mile-per-hour ship, but you know, magic will make this not like a lethal experience.
Is there anything I could grab onto?
Roll me a reflex save. Extremely high DC. We'll call this like 19.
Okay. Because I have to have specifically seen the thing that I wanted to teleport or dimension door to. So I would imagine that if there was any like roping on the side, like there is
Or
on
like
most
a
ships,
hole in the thing,
that
yeah.
I would have specifically dimension door to try and grab that.
Right.
So you said acrobatics?
No, this is a dexterity save.
Dexterity save. Oh.
Yeah. You took
Okay.
12 damage by getting hit with the boat as well.
Got it.
Does the boat take damage from his? I'm kidding.
It has damage reduction.
That'll be. It actually is a 19.
Wow. Okay. You biff it, take 12 bludgeoning damage as you get smacked at the ship. And you are holding on to this rope. Wow. Yeah, you're managing to hold on. This ship is going extremely fast, and you are not benefiting from the effects of the, enchantments that keep them safe on the deck. So you're screaming by at 100 miles per hour. Just roll me Constitution saving throw, and we'll see if you can get to a place that's safer on.
Dirty 20.
Wow. Okay. So you're holding on for a couple minutes. It's hard. You're still figuring this out. You've just been imbued with wild more power from all these warlocks you just killed down there. But you're holding on, and you're able to find purchase somewhere a little more safe.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm still meditating.
Yes.
Am I aware of anything about this?
I'm going to say yeah. And Phil, what I'm going to say with this dimension door is you're using this space between spaces. So it's probably funny, but like to your perspective, you just walk in a door and walk out. But to Alex's, you just like walked a distance in this place in the blink of an eye. So this guy just like walked through this portal. Yeah, I'm going to say with a nat 1, you hear a very distinct just like clunk of meat hitting the black side of the thing. And I mean, you can assume it was a bird, but it was a pretty big bird.
Okay, I'm going to connect these two things because they happened simultaneously. And
What?
I'm going to walk over to the side of the ship and I'm going to look down.
You see Johan dangling off this rope, struggling in the wind.
I'm going to look down at Johan, and I'm going to see if he catches my eye.
Help!
Nobody can hear him, right?
We'll say yeah, no one can hear him but you right now.
I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to reach down. How far down is he?
I'll roll a luck check on this. 7. He's about like 3 arm lengths down, so like it probably, let me see. That'll be about
I'm going to
feet down.
I'm going to take my trident out, and I'm going to look down at Johan, and I'm going to slowly extend my trident all the way down so that he can grab onto it.
What are you doing?
I grab onto it.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull it up. And as he crests the portion of the deck where I can now hear him,
Yeah.
I'm going to lean down and I'm going to say, a long time ago, you did something for me that you know nothing about. And you may have saved my life. I felt as though I owed you. We are even. And I'm going to pull you onto the boat, and I'm going to go back to what I was doing.
I thought you were gonna Lion King that moment.
Long live the king.
Which would have been great because you keep saying that he's the king.
Karina sees this and sees him appear, and he goes, "Oh, you made it." She's a horrible liar.
This is really awkward.
And
You tried to leave without me?
Atria
Orders.
her pants very high on her body over her belly button, and she goes, "No, we thought you were with us. We thought you were below decks. I'm so sorry." She's lying.
Insight.
She's lying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit. You saw me go the other way. You knew I wasn't here. What's this about? Why would you leave?
Honey, I'm gonna be honest. You're a lot. You're always sad, and I thought this was gonna be happy. I thought us coming together would be an incredible, wonderful experience, and you still seem so fraught about things that happened 4 years ago, about things that don't have to matter anymore, don't have to cause you or anyone else pain anymore, and you're still holding on to them. And we can't afford to hold on to it. Do you see what's happening around us? She like points out over the horizon, and there's fires and screams and pain and horror. You think we have the luxury of playing, oh, poor me? What? I've never thought I would ever be queen at any point in my life. You had more expectation than anyone in the world, and you're handling it like a child. And there's just a lot of that.
I say, it has to matter. If it didn't matter, then why did it happen to begin with?
Because fate is cruel. Because Pith is a monstrous creature with way much power than she deserves. Because it's not about you. Because just things happen sometimes.
It has to matter. It has to. I have to be held accountable for my mistakes, just like you have to be held accountable for yours. Everyone does.
What are you, a paladin? What are you, a divine arbiter? What do you care about nature and life and meaning? And you've just teleported 150 feet, a feat most of my best magicians couldn't pull off. Most of the best magicians in Old Wessex and Shigwa could never do. And you're telling me, poor victim, poor you, poor confusion. You have more meaning than any one person on earth, and it's not enough.
Shut up!
I'm gonna say with that, this descends into a completely incoherent screaming match. And Atria comes up and Lyre, she like brings you and comes up to
Oh no, it's Mage Hand. So the popcorn's just kind of floating there.
Atria comes up and comes up to Karina and goes, okay, Lyre, would you like to help our friend come back to the...
I am going to cast Eldritch Blast at her.
At Atria?
Yeah.
Counter spell.
Immediately. Your spell fizzles in your own hand.
Got it. Then I just punch her. And I say, get away from her, you slut!
Okay, roll to hit.
24.
That hits.
2 damage.
You
I
punch...
step forward. Oh, go on.
Yeah, you punch Atria and sock her in the face.
I step forward and say, will you jump off the ship willingly, or will I have to throw you?
Fuck
and
you.
with that, I'm
And I
going
walk
to... action, cast Blur. Bonus action, invoke the Hill Rune.
Oh, God.
Emory's body starts shimmering. And the Hill Rune, his skin, like, hardens.
You firm up. Corvus is next to you, Qiao, and he just puts his arm in front of you and goes, I desperately hope this is not our fight.
If he goes on a rampage, we'll stop him. But there is a shrinking every moment. There is a chance that he might be the king. And technically, I probably shouldn't stab him.
I love the idea of the math meme we've been talking about a lot. It's like going from left to right, and on the right is like chances of Johan being king, and just like wildly oscillating from like 70 to 2 to 30 to...
Well, okay, really though, for Qiao though, I'm actually here as an ambassador. So if I knife this guy and he's the king, that's a problem. So
But if you kill him, then he's no longer the king, and none of us have to ever talk about it again.
That's true, but if it's later determined that he is the king, that's a problem. So I'm going to wait if he starts a wanton murder fest. Based on what I know of Sir Emory, I feel as though I know where this is going, but I'm going to just wait for things.
Okay.
Not yet, Corvus. Not yet.
Says, don't you lay your hands on any of our party. And she just says that to you very firmly. It's your turn now, Phil.
I'm leveling up. Hold on.
Oh no.
What would you like to do, Lyre?
I'm probably going to cast a wind wall around the people fighting, and
Keep them
I need to go through all the spells. I was just about to start going through my spells. God, what would be a good way to stop all of this from happening?
Watery spear.
Honestly,
Sir Emory.
there was a whole other battle going on, and all this drama happened extremely organically and juicily, so I am super cool with it, but it is like definitely not what I expected happening today.
Addison, this reminds me of the ending of the last campaign.
Oh, absolutely. The two of us again.
Yes, it's the two of us, always making the interesting drama.
Don't punch my captain.
Captain. And it's so frustrating because Johan is such a butt. He is
Yeah,
such
no, he's the worst. I hate him.
a
I
human
hate him
being.
so much.
And he makes almost every time he's made a critical decision, it has been the absolute worst decision. And I keep
Yes, it has.
surely he'll take this opportunity to redeem himself. Surely it's too obviously an easy choice to be good, and he keeps muffing it up. And I can only control so much in this world.
I'm going to cast protection from good and evil on Qiao.
Okay. Qiao. Okay, cool.
Hey, Lyre has feelings, okay? And she sees this like going very badly. She's hiding these, but she's got some feelings, okay? It's not very hidden.
It's pretty sweet.
And
Oh, danger! My boy, protection from good and evil. My boyfriend. Oh, I mean friend.
it's actually a touch spell, so I reached out and touched him.
Awesome.
All right. I'm done.
So you can only get 10 levels through this killing. After that, you get half a level per killing until you hit level
Cool.
50.
Well, it got me up to 10. So,
Absolutely terrifying.
yes. Cool.
Just so you know, I have been rolling a lot of stealth checks behind the board, and you've got a very spooky individual potentially among you.
Potentially, not just one spooky, but two
Potentially.
spooky.
I just want you
Agree
to know,
with Johan.
people with Johan's
Yeah, Johan's real spooky.
people with Johan's abilities are becoming more common in the world. So the chances of somebody taking advantage of those powers are steadily becoming higher.
This is the most emo sounding spell. Okay.
Group therapy.
I'm good. I just, in a huff, I make my sword disappear. And I'm just gonna storm off to like my sleeping quarters. Or my room.
As he's walking away, bonus action, invoke the might of Aurelian, and Sir Emory grows into a large creature. And I'm going to go over and grab Johan.
Put your hand on it.
Johan is gonna try and fly away because he can cast levitate on himself now.
You can
at
cast
will.
levitate, not fly.
Right, but it's basically the same thing.
You can't control your directional movement with levitate.
I have fly and levitate, and they are very different.
Yeah. Levitate basically is you can fly, except you're bad.
You can
you
kind
hit
of
the
float
people.
above the ground.
That would still be funny. Somebody puts his hand on your shoulder, and you like slowly drift sideways while still under his arm, so he's holding you at like a 90-degree angle to the ground.
Let me actually check this thing. Hang on a sec. I gotta make sure it is what it is.
Qiao, you recognize that more and more people are coming in and out of this strange realm of warlock magic. Like, there is... people are discovering that power.
Are they on the ship?
No, these are people just out in the town beneath you / across the world. It seems like...
what are they doing?
Mostly panicking.
No.
Mostly screaming, mostly...
Not the people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what are they trying to pull? Are they trying to... I want to, like, in my mind's eye, I want to see, are any of the people who are walking through these rifts not making it out on the other side?
I'm gonna say you're watching an alien element, or you're watching a native element enter an alien environment. And so some people seem to be experiencing strange time dilation, and they feel like they've been in there for 30 years and they've been in there for 30 seconds. Some people have been in there for a week and they've only feel like they've been in there for like half a day. Some people, like it's like Mercury floating into like the void of space. Like most people, it seems like they're fine. Most people, it seems like eventually they'll wander their way out, but it's extremely dangerous. As you're looking at this, you get this feeling of normally this was a highly policed, air quotes, space. This was a ruled over with an iron fist, you presume by Pith. And now you no longer need her permission. If you have the power to get there, you can go there.
Okay. All right. I refocus on whatever's happening with Sir Emory.
He is a very large man.
I am dragging Johan to the edge of the ship.
Do I get to make any kind of check against, like, can I make an athletics or acrobatics to get out of it?
Probably.
Are you sticking with the levitate?
No, that's dumb. Because you're right, levitate. I thought there is one that actually lets you fly. That one is much, much later. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you can give me a opposed athletics check.
Okay.
Sir Emory has advantage due to Giant's Might, or Might of Aurelian.
Awesome, we'll roll. Yeah.
That would be... Sorry, 1 second.
Sorry, Dipper.
22.
Nice.
Damn, beat me by 1. 21.
21. Wow. You drag this emo hot topic whining like 22-year-old boy man. 24, which is even sadder, who has every right and purpose to be more mature than he is, drag him to the ship casually. I mean, with difficulty because
I don't throw him over quite yet.
Okay.
I bring him right to the edge.
Yeah, you get him all the way to...
And I say, a vote. Do we throw him over or do we keep him?
He says, get rid of him, raises her hand. You see all of the 2 other crew members who have been without name, or there's like 4 crew members on your ship, also raise their hands. So there's like 5 votes there for.
Atreus says get rid of him?
Yep.
What does Karina say?
She's looking extremely overwhelmed. She's going to wait for other people to vote.
Shit.
I throw him over.
You throw him over?
After Atreya votes yes and everybody else hesitates, Emory throws Johan over the edge of the ship.
As Emory throws him, I'm going to cast Watery Sphere again, and I'm going to try to envelop him because it'll fall to the ground at a slow speed, and it won't kill him when he hits the ground.
I can feather fall him for that,
Corvus won't. Let me see. I hope he won't be mad at me for making this decision for him. He's going to attempt to stop you from casting the spell. He sees you doing this and has a moment of maybe this is for the best, and he's going to try and interrupt your spell casting. But we'll not roll for anything of it. He'll respect your distance, but you feel that that impulse from him to stop you.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, it's still going to huck him off it'll still take him off the ship. I guess.
You're trying to.
I don't know.
Could we retcon before throwing him off the ship?
What did you say?
Can we go back? Because I would actually like to talk to Johan.
We'll say whatever you want to say is as he's being dragged to the ship.
You know the sending spell.
Why should we not throw you off the ship? You're a
I'm the
dangerous-
only one that knows Pith and her fucking child.
Well, I've met her child too. He doesn't have a name yet. We're
What?
gonna name him time. He's
You
the
know
weird
that?
looking.
Did you see it, Phil? I don't think Johan remembered that dream.
Johan doesn't remember the dream, but Johan specifically said early on that means Pith had a child.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you're lying.
No, I'm totally thinking I'm telling the truth because
But you don't know that. You're making a giant
yeah.
jump in logic here. Okay, no, that
Yes.
tracks. Yeah, but you roll me an insight to see if you can see this. And I don't want you to roll opposed because this isn't you trying to deceive, like you said. Lyre, roll me an
Me?
insight on it.
Okay, rolling insights. That's gonna be a 14.
Yeah. For a moment, you're like, he saw the kid too, and then you realize, now this is kind of his style to just kind of assume he's right.
So, why do you think Pith has a kid?
Because she was locked down there with my father.
Has everyone out of game? Has everyone slept with your dad?
He is a
Yes.
notorious man whore.
Yes.
Oh my god!
That's why there's so many of these warlocks.
The guy is like 55 and has had a lifelong career of sleeping around and fathering children out of wedlock, especially with nobles.
And I thought Qiao's dad was bad, but okay.
If and I'm gonna say, oh shoot, I forgot Emma's character's name.
Umi.
Umi. If Umi is dead, that means I'm the only one of his not blood children. I am the only one that has any kind of bearing on my on a relationship with him. I am also Pith's chosen champion.
Are you trying to give reasons not to throw you overboard?
I'm going to look over at Corvus.
You need me.
And I'm going to look at Sir Emory. And I'm going to say, can I see it in Corvus's eyes?
You can't see Corvus's eyes.
Oh, can I see
He's
in
got a
Corvus's
fucking
bearing?
mask.
Okay, I know that Corvus will kill this man at the first opportunity, correct?
Johan?
Yes.
I mean, you don't really know much about his internal struggling. You know it's been his lifelong career to kill cultists of Pith. That is.
I know that, though, right?
What?
Do I know that?
Oh, yeah. That's like arguably the entire purpose of his monastic order. Like.
Okay, that's what I thought I knew. Okay. Because in my mind, that means that Johan has not long on this earth if Corvus can pull it off. Okay, I'll just see what happens.
Would you consider yourself a cultist of Pith? Or are you trying to stop her?
Trying to stop her so that all of this shit can end and she'll be gone for good instead of just trapped at the bottom of the ocean.
Well, isn't she a goddess? So isn't it kind of hard to get rid of gods in general? But
It's so fun having so much lore, just not where you guys are right now.
I'm a little bit too dumb to be making that kind of statement, actually.
I'm going to lie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to half-truth. I'm going to say, there is a dagger that can stun her. There is a weapon that can kill her. I'll roll
Okay.
perception for that.
That's true, Qiao. You saw. What'd you get?
That'll be a natural 20 on my deception roll, plus 10, so 30.
I think you've gotten like 3 nat 20s this game.
I have.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It's going to bite you at some time, but also you got hit by a boat today, too.
I did get hit by a boat today.
So, Qiao, what he's saying is true. The extension of can kill her is laughable technically. But he sounds extremely confident, and the idea that there was even a weapon that could stun her prior to you seeing it happen was also laughable. So, normally, even a god making this many warlocks, and like a normal D&D setting, this would be impossible. They deplete themselves. They would run out of energy. That's not the nature of the Abyss. That's not the nature of Pith. Her power is literally unlimited. And so the only thing that's stopping her from doing whatever she wants to do is whatever this bizarre cage is that she was put in. So, like, killing her could be a thing. It's as theoretically possible as stunning her. But, like, it's like the equivalent of, like, let's kill God because I have a spatula with an insignia on it. Like, it's like, okay, like, sure.
I'll be honest with you guys. I legitimately cannot think of a good reason that I would argue to keep Johan on the boat. Not a single one. I've been sitting here and I'm like, perhaps we need him for it, and I just don't.
As we're dragging him to the end of the ship, he's screaming, "I am Pith's chosen champion!" Like,
can I say, based on this conversation,
yeah,
I will say that Corvus's attempt to stop me casting Watery Sphere is
successful.
Okay. It's a good cover in case he becomes king at 0.05% chance right now. So after you start getting pulled to the thing, Karina speaks up, and Surma, you get to throw him off the ship. We're not going to steal that from you unless you want it to be taken from you. Karina speaks up and she goes, "Yes, throw him off the ship. Johan, if you have a shred of decency anywhere within you, find us, prove it, kill Pith. You're strong, you're capable, you've clearly taken more lives, you're clearly a more powerful warlock than you were when you walked away this morning. Prove it, king. Prove it. If I won't call you that. You're not a king, you haven't earned anything. You're a brat."
Qiao has a heart attack.
as she says, "You're a brat," I throw him over the side of the ship.
The wind bursts past you as you pass this magical barrier, and you are flinging probably helplessly through the air as you need to right yourself and figure out as you're landing several hundred feet above the ground in like the countryside.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so do I survive or?
I mean, you still have some time to. You're not incapacitated at all before you hit the ground. You would probably. Take 10d6. Is it max 10d6 falling damage? Is that when you?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a max.
It might be like. Let me see. Take a look here.
I think there's a terminal velocity maximum where you can't fall any faster, and then they just cap it at like 10d6.
How long would it take me to hit the ground?
20d6.
20d6 is the maximum. We'll say.
You can cast levitate now.
Yeah, that'd be useful.
Yeah, I guess I could cast levitate now.
If you time it right, you might be closer to the ground, and that might make it easier to get down. But yeah, you start floating through the air as you cast levitate, still with a lot of forward velocity. So you're like maintaining the velocity from off the ship a little bit as you cast levitate and slow down your vertical descent, and you're just kind of lamely gliding across the wake of the ship for a moment before the ship speeds up and takes off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And would you like to just descend to the earth?
Yeah.
Okay. You slowly descend to the earth. The trees and the rocks rise up to meet you as you slowly fall to the earth. And you're standing in this very serene, natural scene with like a brook nearby and just kind of this natural, untamed land that has been revealed to the earth in the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're standing alone.
Cool. I'm just gonna scream.
You scream alone in the wilderness.
Does he even make a sound?
I was planning this for a bit because I wanted to explore this ability that Johan wouldn't have discovered on his own because he kept asking Pith for, permission. He kept, trying to find his way into this portal and, was using the old ways to do it. Anything people would like to do now that this is kind of resolved? Karina's crying, but seems very stern in her resolve.
I'm going to walk up to Karina, and I'm going to say, as a person, I feel for you, and I'm sorry for what just happened. And I'm going to say, but as a diplomat, both from from the Tritons and from the Jigua, I'm going to point over in the general direction of the edge of the ship, and I'm going to say, if that man becomes king through any machinations, my people will know who he is, no matter how well he can lie. Yes?
I'm not sure quite what you're saying here.
I'm just telling her he doesn't need to be king.
Gotcha.
Because if he is king, everyone will know beforehand what kind of person he is.
Gotcha.
Townspeople go to war.
Just saying. I don't have the power to declare war or make any statements. I'm just telling her they'll know
Gotcha.
before.
You possibly could have the power to declare war, but, kind of in an emeritus status, just on your best thing. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. Sir Emory, you are a big, hulking man that has just thrown a boy man off your ship.
Yeah, if there's no other immediate threats, I'm going to let that all fall. And I'm going to look around to everybody and say, don't punch my captain.
Why would I? Okay.
Very touched. Yeah. She kind of comes back to the helm with a new sense of kind of like pride and ownership in herself. And she's like, I don't know, just more confident. I mean, she didn't know she got action yesterday, but apparently she did, which is, no less.
This is the equivalent of a customer yelling at you and your boss just absolutely destroying them and kicking them out of the building. This is ideal.
The dream.
A dream, yes. So I want to just kind of have a little lore laugh here, just kind of to talk about what you guys want to do here and where your goals are. I've just been kind of working under the assumption you want to go to this place that was described, the Cradle of Errol, this city that you saw in this book.
I have dust.
You have dust.
Does that dust lead there?
Actually, no, it leads to a city called Quarry, which is another city. This dust is substantially younger than the ship, than the place that the book is from. The dust seems to be maybe a couple hundred years younger and is about Quarry. The Cradle of Errol is somewhere to the southwest. Huh?
What are you guys feeling? Oh, I said, what are you guys feeling?
Well, we signed on to go to the Cradle of Orwellin, so let's go there.
I think we're
yes.
on a scouting mission, but we have either a wealth of history or a wealth of gems and shit.
Oh, I can get money from anywhere. People just give it to me for some reason.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm going to say, so that book you got is interesting because it has Orwellin text in it, and it has some Orwellin glyphs, which is huge, because those apparently do magic, but the majority of it is an old common. And so it's even back then, even 1,500 years, Orellan was a classical language, if you will. It was a wizard's language, you know, so most people couldn't speak it. But now you're finding out that this is deep speech. This is like the same language that Phil talked. And a lot of these warlocks are literally just waking up with the ability to speak. Now Karina can read the book and can speak the words from the book just from her getting warlock levels.
Oh my god. What do they say? What does it say?
She's like, I'm as surprised as you. And she kind of walks you through a handful of them. And this is incredibly useful for you. Like, I'm going to say, you know, like a very complicated form of IPA that's used for magic. You start taking notes on how to speak these different runes and, you know, like kind of their verbalization. And you start to be... Sir Emory Warren is such an interesting person because he is a walking library on this subject and is probably the only person alive in this or any timeline for this world who could do this on the spot, who wouldn't require months of careful study in a library to do this. You know, you're like like a nat 20 intelligence score? Like you have a full 20?
Yeah. Intelligence is straight 20.
Your genius is showing, frankly. You're like very much learning a lot about this place. In the book, it talks about dragons. And dragons in this world are about as real as they are in our world. They have historical precedents of being like based in history. There's no evidence of it being real or true. But you find all of these really interesting lore about the now first queen, Orellan, and it was told that he deceived God from the sky and took his power. But according to this book, it was much more of a seduction, and it was much more of a romantic pursuit, like a romantic thing. And Orellan used to send, according to this book, dragons down to torment and torture the children of Tauren and like to eat people. And or Lady Orellan, Queen Orellan, this first hypothetical queen, apparently courted him out of that pastime.
That is huge.
Yeah. And so you kind of, I mean, I should probably just send you like a bunch of stuff about like the history of this place.
Probably.
But I'm going to say you guys travel for probably another 2-3 days. Yeah, 2-3 days over the course. And you're referencing this map, you know, cross-checking stars. You're figuring out all of these locations that you can go to. And you eventually come to this ruined city that looks as if it's been underwater for hundreds, thousands of years, and is actually, there are portions of it that are still standing. There are portions of it that seem to be preserved through magic that are just standing out in the open, like an open field that is slowly being reclaimed by nature. We're kind of hitting this kind of pause period here. I'm going to say I wanted to get to this really big combat, but next session will probably be this huge combat, and I would love to have Corvus here for that as well. And
a character for Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can, Phil, we could even do like a one-off session where I just torture you for an hour or two, and we figure out what's alone. But
I'll talk to you once everybody else has left about what I want.
Yeah. We'll kind of hit a pause point because I feel like this is kind of the end of the story for today. I'm going to say everybody gets a free level except for Phil. So Alex, Corvus, Sir Emory, that just to fit with the world, because this world is rapidly growing. And so everyone but Lyre, because you're getting warlock levels, and Phil. And so too, Atria won't get a level because she got a warlock level. And same thing with Karina. But Corvus, Qiao, and Sir Emory. Sir Emory, we're going to go into this more, but because of this book, I'm going to allow you to take 2 levels in either Rune Fighter or Wizard.
Rad. Thank you.
Because this book
It's gonna be good.
is full of it. Like, this book is like, this book is levels. This book is pure knowledge, and it's knowledge that is magic for you.
Bomb. That's very, very good.
My kitty just let me wiggle his nose, and I'm like
Aw,
dying on the inside.
Okay, so
good
we have
cat.
a day or two here. I'm going to say we have another dream. We'll end on a dream. So it happened the night after the earthquake, and it happened again the night after the earthquake. We'll say Phil is roughing it out in the woods, sleeping in some moss he's pulled over himself, or some lean-to he's constructed out in the wilderness. And Lyre and all of you, you're in this dream space of a strange family reunion again, and there are more people here. More people who are dead, more people who are alive. And it is a giant mass of family all together waiting the arrival of their mother and their father. I want you guys to roll me wisdom saves again. Just one.
Oh, do you want one from Atreya?
Yeah, roll me that for
Oh, no.
What'd you get?
Nat 1. For a total of 1.
Okay.
Sorry.
I got
What'd
12
you
this
get?
time.
What'd you get?
12 this time.
12. Okay. So thankfully there's no negative to a nat 1. She is just out of it. She does not remember any of this dream. For her, it did not happen. This is interesting because I'm going to basically be able to play this as Karina. Because Karina got a nat 20.
Ooh.
Karina wakes up in this dream and she sees her husband confused and walking around. All of these people dead and confused and walking around. She sees the boy that you saw, Lyre. The strange, deformed, small, black-skinned, magically black-skinned child with unset teeth and truly a horrific appearance. Yeah, Phil.
Am I part of this dream as well?
You're there? What wisdom did you get?
I didn't roll because I didn't know I had to.
Yes, you are.
Sorry.
Yeah, cool. What'd you get?
Let me check. It's pretty good. I can tell you that right now. What's that?
If it's over 20, you get to be conscious.
Hold on a second. I gotta find what my wisdom is.
What'd you get?
21. 15 plus 6.
Wild. Okay. I'm going to say, Karina, since she got a nat 20, wakes up before you. She walks over to you, and the smudge boy, which I've decided to start calling him, is standing over your body that you're still not conscious yet. You still haven't woken up. And he seems to be drawing on you with what looks like a bit of charcoal. Karina comes up. She sees you'll see this soon too, so we'll leave this out. She sees the severed skin of a blue-faced creature, just the skin from her face on the floor next to you. And you would recognize that this was Alinden's face after close inspection. And she has a black mark right on the forehead as well, or at least the remainder of whatever is left of Alinden. And she comes up and says, "Oh, little boy, what are you doing? That man is my husband." And he goes, "Oh, hi, you can see me too. That's so fun when you guys can see me. Mom said that this guy was cheating. And so she told me to make it a little harder on him. And so I came on up, but don't tell him because I want him to be surprised." And he continues to draw on your forehead. This is about when you wake up. And this hideous creature is just kind of over your face as you come to consciousness.
I'm gonna scoot away and just sort of, I'm gonna say, like, monster!
Oh. Is that a name? Johan, it's so nice to meet you. My mom has told me all about you, and you're kind of why I was born. She said, it's my job to make sure you're healthy and alive forever. Because she says she wants to play with you. And she picks up like the rubbery skin mask of like Linden's dead corpse. Because she said she didn't last very long. And she wants to make sure that you guys get to play forever and ever. So it's kind of my job to make sure that you're really, really durable. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's so nice to meet you. Is this your friend? And he kind of looks over at Karina.
We were friends.
She doesn't know how to respond to that either. He goes, I think I do pretty well. So I hope you have a good sleep, and I'm so excited to get to know you better. I guess we'll have a long time to know each other. So do you have any questions? Mom said that I could kind of tell you whatever. So she said it's not like you guys can stop her. So, there's really no reason to beat around the bush.
What's her plan?
Okay. So she's slowly trying to get herself out of the pit because she has me, which has helped her kind of climb and start climbing up the chain. But also, she made all of you guys warlocks so that one of you guys could get strong enough to just pull her out and save a whole lot of time. Yeah, that's kind of the plan. And you'll never find where she is. And other warlocks that she trusts better are gonna find her. So, she got ya.
I'm impressed she knows where I am, considering...
She doesn't. We don't know where you are. You've got that really awful little pendant thing. I saw that through somebody else's eyes. But we don't have to know where you are to curse you because we're family.
That sounds so accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to start rolling. You've got limited time to talk to this person before the dream ends.
What, do I know what happened to the dagger?
You would have seen Alex have it on his
Got it.
trident.
You say there's no way we'll find her. Who does she trust?
She trusts that people will do the wrong thing when they're given the choice. And so far, she's been right. She goes, bye, and you wake up in your beds.
Before we wake up, please allow me this.
All right.
I'm going to look at Karina, and I'm going to say, you slept with the captain. I fucked everyone here. And then we wake up.
All right. And we'll say the next morning you find a clear pool of water, wash your face off. You have the words Lyre sketched in harsh black letters across your forehead.
Oh, shit.
Good thing I still can cast Disguise Self.
Let's see on that. All right. That is
I'm going to use the power of my patron to cover up the mark of my patron.
Well, I also have a do-rag that I can use as well to just do it the old-fashioned way. So
Yeah.
We will talk about that. Cliffhanger for next session. All right. I'll do the stop recording so we can just check.